Welcome back. As you probably know, massive spending cuts are set to take effect in 10 days, and some say it could basically decimate our military.
The president's getting ready to make a speech on that in just a few minutes. Congressman Scott Peters is here to explain what it could mean for the port of San Diego as well. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
You held a news conference yesterday with the port, and it's not just about our military here, but it's about the port and the business it does.
Yeah, there are a lot of potential impacts here in San Diego. Thanks for having me on. You know, they unbelievably, they sent us to our districts this week when we're only 2 weeks away from these spending cuts that are not targeted in any kind of way. They're sort of across the board, referred to as the sequester. I'd rather be in D.C. Working on avoiding these for San Diego this week. But as long as I'm here, I've been talking about the effects on San Diego. So yesterday we talked about the port and infrastructure. Tomorrow we're going to highlight scientific research. We're going to be at the Salk Institute. There's a lot of the economy here depends on investments from the federal government in scientific research. And then Friday we're going to talk about the military, because a quarter of our jobs are related to the military, as well as, we play a proud role in defending our country. And we're concerned that these sequester cuts will undercut both efforts. Obviously,
you're very familiar with the port and the operations that go down there. What exactly will these budget cuts do to us here in San Diego?
Well, on the port, and we talked about the port and infrastructure, one of the great opportunities for us in job creation, and Mayor Filner has highlighted this, is connecting our ports to the national system of highways and rails and really coordinating the movement of goods. San Diego could really expand our business there, which are good, they're good jobs. But without the investments from the federal government, localities can't make those kinds of investments. They're very expensive, and they have to be made over time as part of a planned effort. This kind of approach is going to undercut that kind of future for us.
You expressed just now some of your frustration with what's going on in Washington. Does it bother you, this Washington politics right now? And not only on that, but also on immigration, where it has come up with a so-called backup plan that was leaked.
Well, people ask me what it's like, and I would say that there's a really stark difference between the politics traditionally here in San Diego and what you see in D.C. We're known for our collaboration, working together. Even President Clinton has often said that San Diego is a model for collaborative cooperation instead of constant conflict. But in D.C., I really am surprised. I mean, I guess I shouldn't be, at how partisan and argumentative and sort of the less amount of listening that we have out there for answers. So that is a concern of mine. I think it's hurting us. It's hurting the whole country. On immigration, I do hear that there are groups of people coming up with plans. I think that's progress. And it seems to me that there's enough interest across the political spectrum that we might actually get something maybe by the end of the year. But right now in this budget stuff, it's very frustrating. It seemed really locked up to me.
Yeah, it seems like people want a solution. I'm sure you hear that from your constituents. But what's it going to take, really, especially for the sequester, to get everybody on the same plan? Well,
Alexis, dealing with the federal budget will be a big challenge. And if we deal honestly with it, it's going to involve some pain and some cuts. But my objection is that they ought to be targeted. If we're going to make cuts to the military, we ought to build it around a national strategy for our defense, not just decide we're going to lop off an arm. And the same thing with scientific research. We ought to figure out a way to deal with our budget challenges and still provide for the kind of money that it's taken to cure diseases, to reduce healthcare costs through innovation potentially, and also to create the kind of jobs that have transformed San Diego's economy. We can do that here. We can do that across the country. But it's got to be part of a larger plan. That won't be free from pain, but it's going to take some work.
What about the Republican charge with the president right now, that he is being very, very partisan, and that he is using his past election, this second election, as a springboard to his confidence?
Well, I think there's a lot of partisanship on both sides. I think that there's a lot of people going up to the podium and blaming each other for what's happened. This sequester thing happened in 2011, at a time when Congress was perhaps at one of its lowest points. We got our credit downgraded, and we still haven't moved from there. I've been in Congress about 6 weeks. I wasn't there when it was created. I'd like to be part of the solution. And that's kind of how I think we should focus. And we all ought to be getting away from the kind of name-calling and partisanship that we see, unfortunately, coming up to an election. We're past the election. Let's figure out how to fix it.